The sonar reading makes no sense. 2 miles beneath the Atlantic Ocean, 300 miles west of Gibraltar, the seafloor suddenly isn't seafloor anymore. Instead, the deep-sea mapping vessel has detected something that shouldn't exist. Geometric patterns, right angles, massive stone structures arranged in perfect concentric circles spanning over 6 miles across. The coordinates are transmitted to marine archaeologists. Within hours, 3 governments have declared the area a restricted military zone. Within days, the first submersible reaches the site. And what the cameras reveal in those crushing depths will force us to rewrite everything we thought we knew about human civilization. Because after 2,400 years of being dismissed as myth, as philosophical allegory, as the fantasy of an ancient Greek philosopher, Atlantis is real, and it's not empty. When Plato wrote his dialogues Timaeus and Critias around 360 BC, he described an island civilization that existed 9,000 years before his time. A naval empire that had conquered most of the Western Mediterranean. A city built in concentric rings of land and water, with a massive temple at its center dedicated to Poseidon. According to Plato, this empire became corrupt, lost divine favor, and in a single day and night of catastrophic earthquakes and floods, sank beneath the waves. For centuries, scholars insisted this was pure allegory, a cautionary tale about hubris, a literary device to illustrate Plato's political philosophy. But what if they were wrong? What if Plato was recording oral history passed down through Egyptian priests, just as he claimed? Because the structures now emerging from the Atlantic darkness match his description with terrifying accuracy. The concentric rings, the scale, even the orientation. Plato placed Atlantis beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the ancient name for the Strait of Gibraltar. The discovery site, exactly where he said it would be. Imagine you're inside the titanium sphere of the submersible. The pressure gauge reads 3,200 meters. Outside your viewport, there's nothing but absolute darkness and the occasional bioluminescent creature drifting past. Then, your lights catch something. Stone, but not natural stone. Cut stone. Blocks the size of houses fitted together with joints so precise you couldn't slide a credit card between them. The pilot adjusts the thrusters, and suddenly you're gliding along what can only be described as a boulevard. A street, paved in a material that still gleams after millennia underwater. On either side, the ruins of buildings rise from the sediment. Not primitive huts, not simple temples. These are sophisticated structures with columns, archways, and decorative reliefs that depict. You lean closer to the viewport. Scenes of daily life, of ships, of astronomical observations, of technologies that shouldn't exist in any civilization from 11,000 years ago. The submersible's robotic arm extends, carefully lifting an artifact from the sediment. It's a metallic disc covered in symbols. The metal shouldn't have survived, but here it is, in your mechanical grip, proof of something impossible. Here's where everything we know about history begins to crumble. According to mainstream archaeology, human civilization began around 3,500 BC with the Sumerians. Writing was invented. Agriculture was established. Cities emerged. Before that, we were hunter-gatherers making stone tools. But if Plato's timeline is accurate, Atlantis was destroyed around 9,600 BC. That's the end of the last ice age, 6,000 years before the pyramids. 7,000 years before the written word was supposed to exist. Yet the initial analysis of the Atlantean ruins suggests architectural sophistication rivaling classical Greece. Worse, carbon dating of organic material trapped in the structures confirms it. The city was indeed thriving during the late Pleistocene epoch. This means that while our ancestors were supposedly living in caves and hunting mammoths, there was a maritime civilization building cities, carving stone with precision that wouldn't be matched for millennia, and developing technologies we're only now beginning to understand. The implications are staggering. Did human civilization rise and fall and rise again? Was there a forgotten chapter of human advancement, wiped away by cataclysm, leaving only legend? The expeditions have been ongoing for 6 months now. Each dive reveals more impossibilities, but nothing prepares the team for what they find at the center of the concentric rings. Plato described a temple covered in silver, gold, and orichalcum, a mysterious metal he claimed was highly valued in Atlantis. The structure that emerges from the silt is beyond anything found in ancient Egypt, Greece, or Rome. It's massive. The main chamber alone could house a modern cathedral. The architecture uses principles of engineering that engineers struggle to explain. Load-bearing columns that distribute weight in ways that shouldn't work but do. Acoustic properties that allow whispers at one end to be heard perfectly at the other, 300 feet away. And in the central chamber, surrounding what must have been the altar, reliefs depicting the cosmos. Star charts, planetary positions, mathematical equations inscribed in a base 12 counting system. Whoever built this understood astronomy, mathematics, and physics at a level that suggests either incredibly advanced indigenous development or knowledge from somewhere else. The archaeologists don't like to speculate publicly, but in private conversations, the same question keeps emerging. Who taught them? 3 months into the excavation, a junior researcher notices something unusual. A structure on the eastern side of the temple complex with a different architectural style. Smaller, more enclosed. The entrance is sealed with what appears to be a kind of ancient cement that has hardened under the pressure and cold. It takes weeks to carefully break through. What's inside defies explanation. Shelves, rows and rows of shelves carved into the rock walls, and on those shelves, objects. Not scrolls, which would have disintegrated long ago. These are metal plates, each about the size of a book, covered in inscribed text and diagrams. Thousands of them. The metal is orichalcum, the same mysterious copper-gold-silver alloy Plato mentioned. It doesn't corrode. Even after 11 millennia underwater, the inscriptions are perfectly legible. The script is unlike anything in the archaeological record. Curvilinear, elegant, completely unknown. Linguists are working around the clock to decipher it, but some of the diagrams need no translation. Anatomical drawings showing human organs with accuracy that wouldn't be matched until the Renaissance. Mechanical devices that look disturbingly like gears, pulleys, and hydraulic systems. And star maps that show constellations from the southern hemisphere, viewed from a location that places the observer south of the equator. Geologists have now studied the site extensively, and they've confirmed what Plato described. This city was destroyed in a single catastrophic event. The evidence is everywhere. Buildings collapsed in the same direction, suggesting a massive tsunami. Scorch marks on some structures indicating fire that burned hot enough to crack stone. And most tellingly, a layer of sediment that contains high concentrations of cosmic materials. Iridium, rare isotopes found in asteroids. The working theory is devastating. Around 9600 BC, a large asteroid or comet fragment impacted the Atlantic Ocean. The impact triggered megatsunamis that would have been hundreds of feet high. Earthquakes registering beyond any modern scale. Volcanic eruptions across the Atlantic Ridge. The city didn't sink gradually. It was obliterated in hours. The shockwaves would have been felt worldwide. And here's the terrifying part. This event coincides exactly with the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, a controversial theory that a cosmic impact caused rapid climate change at the end of the last ice age. The discovery of Atlantis might just confirm it. A global catastrophe that destroyed not just one city, but possibly an entire worldwide civilization, plunging humanity back into a dark age from which we didn't emerge for 6,000 years. Meanwhile, biological anthropologists have made their own startling discovery. Preserved in the cold, pressurized environment of sealed chambers, they've found human remains. The DNA analysis sends shockwaves through the scientific community. These people were anatomically modern humans, but their genetic markers show a diversity that shouldn't exist. Haplogroups from Europe, Africa, and Asia all mixed together. This wasn't a homogeneous population. It was cosmopolitan, international. A melting pot of human lineages 11,000 years ago, when populations were supposed to be isolated in small bands. But more intriguing is what happens when they compare Atlantean DNA to modern populations. There are matches. Not many, but they exist. Certain genetic markers found in the ancient Atlanteans appear today in scattered populations around the Atlantic Rim, in the Basque people of Spain, in certain Irish and Scottish populations, in Berber tribes of North Africa, in Native American populations along the eastern seaboard. Could these be the descendants of Atlantean refugees, survivors who escaped the catastrophe and integrated into primitive cultures, carrying fragments of their advanced knowledge that would emerge centuries later as sudden bursts of civilization in Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Indus Valley? As the translation of the metal plates progresses, certain passages have been decoded, and they describe technologies that challenge everything we understand about the ancient world. One set of plates describes a power generation system using tidal forces and what appears to be electromagnetic principles. Another details a method of maritime navigation using stars and a mechanical calculating device. Most controversially, several plates contain diagrams of what can only be described as flying machines. Not birds, not fantasy. These are technical drawings with measurements, materials lists, and principles of aerodynamics. Mainstream scientists are dismissing these as misinterpretation, religious symbolism, mythological representations, but the aerospace engineers who have been quietly consulted aren't so sure. The principles described actually work. In fact, some mirror early designs that failed in the 19th century not because the theory was wrong, but because the materials weren't available. Did the Atlanteans actually achieve powered flight? It seems impossible. Yet here are the blueprints, inscribed in metal, sealed in a vault, waiting 11,000 years to challenge our assumption that technological progress moves only forward, never backward, never in cycles of rise and catastrophic fall. As more artifacts are cataloged, patterns emerge that are impossible to ignore. The same base 12 mathematical system found in Atlantis appears in fragments in ancient Sumeria. The architectural techniques used in the Atlantean temple share impossible similarities with much later constructions in ancient Egypt and Peru. The star charts match those found in Babylonian astronomy, but predate them by 6,000 years. Most intriguing are the artistic motifs: spirals, concentric circles, specific animal symbolism. These same symbols appear in Neolithic sites across Europe, in Native American petroglyphs, in Australian Aboriginal art, all dated to roughly the same post-ice age period. What archaeologists previously dismissed as coincidence or parallel development now looks like something else: cultural memory. The scattered remnants of Atlantean influence, carried by refugees to distant shores, preserved in the collective memory of humanity as flood myths, legends of lost golden ages, and stories of gods who came from across the sea bringing knowledge. Nearly every ancient culture has these stories. The Sumerians spoke of the Abzu. The Egyptians mentioned the Zep Tepi the first time. The Aztecs believed in Atlantis. Hindu texts describe Kumari Kandam. What if they were all remembering the same real event? In the deepest chamber of the library, archaeologists have found something that changes everything. A single massive plate, larger than all the others, positioned alone in what appears to have been a place of importance. After months of work, linguists have finally translated it. It's not a technical manual. It's not a historical record. It's a warning. The text describes the pride of Atlantis, its technological achievements, its mastery of the ocean, its belief that they had conquered nature itself. And then it describes the signs they ignored: unusual seismic activity, changes in animal behavior, anomalies in the night sky. The Atlantean astronomers had detected the incoming object. They'd calculated its trajectory. They knew it would impact their region. But their leaders, the text says, were too proud to believe their civilization could fall. They had emergency procedures, but assumed their structures could withstand anything. They were wrong. The final section reads like a message to the future. It warns that the cosmos is more dangerous than we imagine. That human achievement, no matter how great, is temporary against the forces of nature. That knowledge must be preserved and humility maintained. That civilizations rise and fall and rise again, and that we, their distant descendants, should remember this when we reach the same heights, because we will, and will face the same tests. News of the discovery has finally been made public. The reaction is exactly what the governments feared. Religious institutions are in turmoil. If an advanced civilization existed 11,000 years ago, it contradicts literal interpretations of creation timelines. Academic establishments are divided. Tenured professors are defending century-old theories, while younger researchers are embracing the evidence. Most dangerous are the political implications. 3 nations claim territorial waters over the site. UNESCO has declared it World Heritage Property. Private salvage companies are filing lawsuits for access. Conspiracy theorists are having a field day, claiming this proves everything from ancient aliens to hidden knowledge suppressed by secret societies. Social media is flooded with misinformation. Meanwhile, the careful scientific work continues at the site, now under armed protection. Because beyond the politics and controversy, there's knowledge down there. Real knowledge. Knowledge of how to build earthquake-resistant structures, of sustainable maritime technologies, of astronomical observations that might warn us of future impacts. The Atlanteans developed sophisticated solutions to problems we still face today, and their library might contain answers we desperately need. It's been 2 years since the initial discovery. The excavation continues. New chambers are being uncovered monthly. The translation of the plates is progressing, each one adding pieces to an incredible puzzle. But the implications are still sinking in. Human history isn't the simple linear progression from primitives to modernity that we taught in schools. It's cyclical, advanced, fragile. We've been here before at the pinnacle of civilization, masters of technology and engineering, and we fell. Not through moral decay or divine punishment, but through the random catastrophe of cosmic impact. A single rock from space erased millennia of human achievement in a day. The survivors, scattered and traumatized, carried fragments of knowledge into the emerging Neolithic cultures. Those fragments became the seeds of the next rise, the next cycle. Egypt, Sumeria, the Indus Valley, all accelerated by inherited knowledge from the lost world. And now, we stand at a similar height. We've surpassed Atlantis in some ways, but we face the same vulnerabilities. Climate change, asteroid impacts, solar events, technological catastrophes of our own making. The discovery of Atlantis isn't just about the past. It's a mirror held up to our present, a reminder that nothing is permanent, that we should document our knowledge, preserve it, prepare for the unthinkable. Deep beneath the Atlantic waves, Atlantis waits in the darkness. Most of it remains unexplored. Entire districts of the city are still buried under sediment. More libraries might exist, more warnings, more knowledge. The submersibles descend daily now, part of the largest archaeological project in human history. Scientists from 60 nations work together, their differences set aside in the face of this momentous discovery. They're racing against time because the site is unstable. The same tectonic forces that destroyed Atlantis remain active. Future earthquakes might collapse structures, bury chambers, make areas permanently inaccessible. But there's another race happening. A race to learn from Atlantis before we repeat its mistakes. To understand how they built, how they thought, how they prepared, and where they failed. Because one day, maybe centuries from now, maybe sooner, we might need that knowledge. We might need to preserve our own civilization against catastrophe. We might need to become the Atlanteans, leaving messages in indestructible materials for distant descendants we'll never meet. The discovery of Atlantis proves something profound. That human achievement is possible, that we can rise to incredible heights. But it also proves we're vulnerable, that those heights can crumble, that nothing lasts forever, except maybe the knowledge we choose to preserve. And perhaps, buried in those ancient metal plates, waiting to be translated, is one final secret. Not just a warning, but a solution. A way to ensure that this time, when civilization reaches its peak, it doesn't fall again. That this time we remember, we survive, we endure, because we learned from those who came before, from the empire beneath the waves, from Atlantis, What if it was real? Now we know it was, and everything changes.